Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodhanandana Brajajana Randana Yasodhanandana Brajajana Randana Yamuna Tiro Vanachadhi Yamuna Tiro Vanachadhi Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabihari Jaya Uttam Sabaribrajacharya Sukhaveshwara Smavati Tam Saraswati Goswami Bhagavati Jaya Ananda Kori Vaishnava Jaya Ramacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Jaya Neem Sutta Hosi Krishna Sri Radha Krishna Bhogavna Sankand Radha Kundali Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Navadvip Dham ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Guru Dwarka Dham ki jai, Swami Bhaktivinoda ki jai, all glories to the all glories to the Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Well, Nitya Kishore, Hare Krishna, Jai, all glories to Great Deva, all glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada.
Gauranga,
Hare Krishna.
can you hear me? It's okay?
Yes.
How is
Yes.
my audio?
We can hear you, it's very clear.
Okay, good, very clear. Well,
Yeah.
I'm in the studio. If it doesn't work, I'm telling you, my God. Listen to that.
Hare Krishna.
Tell me if you listen to.
Yes, it's very clear, yes.
Jaya Radha
Yes.
Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandanam Braja Janaram Janam Jamuna Tira Vanachari. I'm learning.
Hare Krishna.
Woo! Never late. Never late.
Yes, 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 yes.
Gauranga,
Hare
Gauranga.
Krishna. Haribo.
Om
So-
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om 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 Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Reading SRIMAD Bhagavatam. Let me get here the 1:18:38. Tato bietsa shramam balo gale sarpa kalevaram pitaram viksha dukarto mukta kanto rurodaha. Tata thereafter abhyetya, after entering into ashramam, the hermitage, bala, boy, galesarpa, the snake on the shoulder, kalevaram, body, pitaram, unto the father, vikshya, having seen, dukkha arta, in a sorry plight, muktakanta, loudly, ruroda, cried, ha, in the past. Translation. Thereafter, when the boy returned to the hermitage, he saw a snake on his father's shoulder, and out of his grief, he cried very loudly. Purport: by his divine grace, Abai Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The boy was not happy because he committed a great mistake, and he wanted to be relieved of the burden on his heart by crying. So after entering the hermitage and seeing his father in that condition, he cried loudly so that he might be relieved. But it was too late. The father regretted the whole incident. Hare Krishna. Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhyavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna and good evening everyone. Here in Mayapur is 8:30 p.m. I have here Sahadev. I read another verse. This is just a second. 1:18:38. Is this correct?
Let me check to see. I think I got the wrong verse for you.
Yeah, because I read something else. Well, it's fine, but please check it out.
Yeah, it's 38, yes.
It is okay. 1:18:38. It's correct. Okay.
Yes.
Well, so this is the situation. Let me check here which verse is after that. 1:18:28. Okay, good. It's another verse. So this is before. Okay. So in that part of the facts that happened in the incident with Parikshit Maharaj, the boy is crying. It's a very typical behavior of a kid, isn't it? Doing something and then, out of emotion. This is the right word. Out of emotion, he did something that he regretted, and now he's thinking after doing it. He's thinking, and he can't think. He's just overwhelmed with the whole situation. And then here is telling, in this purport, is telling the father regretted the whole incident. There is another pastime. I think it's 90 canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. 90 canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there are a lot of pastimes. There are strange pastimes. They're all put in together. And one of them is the pastime where the king became pregnant. And what happened? The destiny. What's the name of is destiny? And there is another name for that. Oh my God, it escaped from my mouth. Providence and destiny. The Brahmanas did some jagya to the queen to get pregnant. So they did the whole thing, the potion and la la. It was a glass of water. So they arranged everything, and the glass of water was there in the place that has to be. And the king woke up in the middle of the night, thirsty like anything. And then he found this glass of water somehow. He drank, and then they told, what happened? The Brahmanas, what happened with the king? He drank it. When they heard that, they're just like, oh my God, they just like, how incredible is the providence. So according to the Bhagavatam, the king got pregnant and had the kid. He gave birth to the kid. So when the Brahmanas heard that, they just like, instead of blaming and fighting and doing a lot of stuff, they just said, how incredible is the providence. How incredible. So the Brahmana here, the sage, he's doing the same. He's doing the same, the sage here. He is just like, my God, what happened? What just happened? You know, it doesn't mean that we don't have to take care. It doesn't mean that we don't have to follow etiquette, that we don't have to study or chanting, because by chanting, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, by chanting the holy name, all the bad habits will be cured by those who are chanting. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirmation, Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Lila, last chapter, only 20 verses. And he said, by chanting, all the bad habits of a person will be clear if they chant. So we have so many bad habits, and for becoming free of that, we practice the process. We have to practice the process. What does it mean to practice the process? You chant your japa, you read and hear Srimad Bhagavatam, you serve the Vaishnavas, isn't it? You are cultivating knowledge. That's your spiritual journey. You wake up in the morning, you do your best, you worship the deities, you are cultivating, you are doing yourself. But if something bad happens, and then you have to keep what you have learned throughout your life, what you have heard and reading and hearing, it has to work when things happen to you out of your control. That you really tried your best, you're really going to a journey, and then something that you cannot avoid. So instead of becoming desperate, instead of freaking out, instead of getting crazy and blaming everyone, you have to breathe and be enlightened by spiritual understanding. Like the sage here, he is just like, whoa, what had happened? And then he gives some advice, like a good father. My son, why have you done such thing to the king? He's a good king, Everyone goes through some difficulty. So why did you do that? You give some advice, but you don't become crazy with things that happen to you. So in this case, some intelligent people from material world are better than devotees. If you think like that, listen, you try to be the Jnana Chakshu. What does it mean, Jnana Chakshu? Those who have the eyes of Jnana. Chakshu means eyes, the eyes of knowledge. So when things happen or when things in front of you, then you try to see this with the eyes of knowledge. that you have learned, that we have to try all the time. And then when things happen that not according to your plan, according to your out of the control, and then we have to see it, try to see it, endeavor to see it from the light of Shastra. But my question is, if you don't know Shastra, how can you deal with the word and the material world? Some people, they're thinking just by putting a kantimala and tilaka and put a sari on and put a dhoti on, they're ready for anything. They're not. They're not. This all external. It helps. Yes, it helps. You know, as what? As these glasses help me to see better because my eyes has less power. Same. It will help, but it doesn't solve the problem. What is important is what you are cultivating every day that will make you a person of knowledge. If you don't practice, if you don't hear, if you don't chant, and if you don't go out for pilgrimage, you don't try to serve others, try to listen, trying to be tolerant, you're not practicing. And then with just speculation come for what is an ideal Vaishnava behavior. For example, call Mataji's Prabhus. There is no such thing in our Shastras. I'm sorry. It's a shame to call Mataji's Prabhus. If you think one lady is spiritually advanced, you have to call her Shri, Thakurani, Srimati, Devi, or Goswamini, or Mata. I gave you 6 names you can call. Even Guru Devi you can call. But you don't call Mataji's Prabhus. So those who sign for call Mataji's Prabhus, they are signing what? They are signing, I don't know Vaishnava, Gaudiya Vaishnava Shastra. This is what they're signing. In Bhakti Ratnakara, describe the behavior of one of the best Vaishnavis that we had. That's Nityananda Prabhu's wife, Janava Mata, and others, like the wives of Srinivasacharya. So, this, when you practice or you read, you don't be confused. And every day you have a chance to start to study Prabhupada's books. Don't think just by, how can I say, looking like one devotee, you be one. This is just an illusion. This is just such Maya. I'm telling you, what's the name? Murders or Lord drugs here, they dress in dhoti. They have kurta. They have chadar. Sometimes people don't want to have chadar. Sometimes I like jackets. And also have chadar. I live in India, so it's very nice and warm. I like, but I also have jacket. What's the difference? Both is for covering the body. Don't think somebody dressed jacket and you dress chadar because it's Indian and then it's more advanced. This is such a Maya. You know, meanwhile, we are so concerned how to look Vaishnavas that we forget how to be Vaishnavas by practicing the process. That's my challenge for everyone. Please stop to fake. Stop to fake or thinking confusion. That's something. Now we can see the father of Shringi, the boy who what's the name? What's the name in English? I forgot. Cursed the
Cursed, yeah.
king. He is just like, he's regretting. He's just like, oh my God, what happened? Look, the other sages, when the king by mistake drank the potion and then became pregnant, it's just like, my God, what's happened? What happened there? It's just, look how the providence is working, you know? It doesn't mean also that we don't have to improve process and systems, but when things happen out of control, we try to learn and we apply Vaishnava, we apply our knowledge, we apply the spiritual understanding about facts. It's like the COVID situation. The COVID situation, can you imagine if you don't know Bhagavatam, and if you don't know Bhagavad Gita, and you don't know Krishna, can you know Prabhupada? How could you be? Please think about those who from day to night lost everything, the hope, everything, the job and money, and had to just, eating cable. Think about that. Or those who became mentally sick because they couldn't deal with the situation. A lot of suicide happened. Think about then what they needed the most. It was not even a plate of food. It was knowledge. It was a spiritual understanding to know the situation is temporary. This is Kali Yuga. Things are going on. Everything is under control. And, I have the holy name. I have everything. They had no shelter. So I saw here in the poster that Sahadeva sent to everyone, that's Christmas Marathon. So, guys, Prabhu's Matajis, we are talking about how spiritual knowledge is the real help for humanity and is the real help for us. Prabhupada was just like, he was so upset when he time to time heard that the devotees were not reading his books. He was not sleeping to finish as much as he can. His purports are amazing. In India, we know exactly where Prabhupada finished his purports. It's very famous. When Prabhupada finished his purports? The prayers of Lord Brahma. This is the last chapter that Prabhupada, 10th canto, that Prabhupada was giving purport. Because Prabhupada's purports are incredible, especially in the 10th canto. So Prabhupada was upset when he time to time would hear that devotees were not reading. He said, I'm giving everything to translate these books, and you are not giving attention. The books is what will free us, and free all the people. If you really want to help, even Prabhupada was always concerned that the prasada distribution would be accompanied by the distribution of literature. Any program, any project, because he knew what people need is the right knowledge, is the right information. Who are you? Where are you? Who is Krishna? What will happen? What is karma? He knew Kali Yuga, how heavy, how serious, how dark is Kali Yuga. Very, very serious point. This what's the name? This purport is very small. It's talking just about the emotion of father and kid. It's very interesting. It's all about emotions, isn't it? Like Parikshit Maharaj got angry. What is angry? Anger, emotion. He went there. Oh, he doesn't give me any attention. Oh, I'm so thirsty. Body, and then I'm so upset. And then he's a kshatriya type, huh? He's a kshatriya type. He's just like, why you treat me like this? This is like kshatriya mood. Put there and put in his leg. So upset. And then the kid came and, oh, somebody offended my father. Who was that? Oh, that king. What? Oh, I cursed him. So much emotion going on. So I want to speak a little bit about emotions. You know, some of my god brothers and sisters and devotees that came to join ISKCON in my time, we are discussing about how not to all the time fake and don't show your emotions. You know, like you even don't know what you are doing, why you are doing, but you simply repressed yourself. It's kind of, sorry to say, very Indian thing to repress. They're repressed in the school, they're repressed in the family, they're repressed in the society, they're repressed in the university. Not only India, but it's something like the Asia. There are so, even in South Korea, that's not Indian, or you go to Emirates or you go to other places, there's so much, so many rules from all sides, you know, and the kids, they growing up in a repressed and full of rules environment. The whole talk in India right now, in the movies, people, important people everywhere, is like, be free. They're tired. So many times we misunderstand, and also sometimes some people, in order to control others, tell them more about the rules than less about their rights, their development, and the right way to practice and to cultivate spiritual knowledge. It's all the time, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. We grow up with this, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Too much repression. When we go to Bhagavatam, we see people manifesting emotions. We see Dhruva Maharaj manifesting emotions. Yes or not? 4 years old boy, 5 years old, Kshatriya type, Kshatriya nature. Oh, I didn't like the way you were speaking to me, Father. I feel so bad here. Mommy, I'm feeling bad here. What should I do? And he went to the forest to find Krishna to have a talk and protest. You know, I had been mistreated by my father. What's going on? That's Dhruva Maharaj. And he continued with the same nature. You remember in Bhagavatam what happened after that when he became adult, and then his brother was murdered, and then by a yaksha, and then he's trying to kill all of them, and it was a big war, big war. That's Dhruva Maharaj. Then Janamejaya. Do you know who is Janamejaya? Janamejaya is the son or grandson or son?
Son.
The son of Maharaj Pariksit. He said he was after my father died because of this snake. I want to kill all of them. They were corrected, but they manifest feelings. And then somebody came and said, look, I don't think it's good what you are doing, you know. I don't think it's reasonable. Can you please stop? Please reconsider it? But They manifest feelings. They are not faking something that they are not. You even can talk, I do interview when I talk to devotees, and then it's difficult to get from them their talent because they're so extremely humble that they cannot say what they are good at. Are you a good cook? Yes or not? I am talking to whom, for God's sake? Is an adult? Is a normal person? Yes or not? Yeah, I know how to cook. I have experienced. I studied this and this and that. Please, don't be so Hare Krishna, for God's sake. Don't be so more humble than a grass and more blah, 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 step on my head. Less. Be normal, for God's sake. Be normal. Prabhupada was asking this devotee who corrected his literature. So, what is your what are your skills? And then he said, Prabhupada, I study university. I study literature, English literature in the university. And Prabhupada said, oh, can you please correct my books? Guys, this is a two-man normal talking. So please, let's create a new wave of be normal. Be normal, be reasonable, not like, you know I don't know how to cook. Oh, I am a book distributor. I am a cook. Yes or not? You can say, what's your experience? I know how to translate. Can you do that? Yes, I can do it. What's the problem? It will make you arrogant. It will make you not be humble. I think there's some confusion here. There's some confusion. Not possible. Not possible. You know how to play mridanga? Yes or not? Yeah, by Krishna's grace. You know or you don't. You're practicing. You did classes. You know how to play this. Yeah, yes or not? Can you write? You're a good writer. Can you write? Yes, I can write. No, not so much. I am medium. No, I cannot write. I have no inspiration. Please. Let's create one new wave of being normal. Trinadapi Nitya verse is related to prema stage, or what's the name? Prem and Uttama Adhikari stage. So if a person is a father or a mother and it's working, and Prabhupada said, you go to the temple, you behave like a sheep, you are outside, and then you behave like a lion. So when you are working, or especially the men, for God's sake, the men are too much affected. They want to be so humble, that they become incapable and useless, no skills at all, because they are so humble. They try to be extremely humble, and they become poor, and they become no. You become capable for Krishna. Why should we offer unskill for Krishna? Why we use and not being capable in the name of being humble? Become a better cook. Do some courses. Learn how to do amazing, beautiful cakes and make everybody happy. The deity, the devotees, isn't it? It's just an example. Learn how to write so you can write amazing poetry about Krishna and his devotees. Learn how to play instruments so you can do a beautiful kirtan in anywhere you go. We change that for a life of a tamagun that we call humility. And then we don't understand why the karmas has so much success. So, Let's go back to the emotions. In Bhagavatam, we see a lot of emotions going on. And then people are corrected, but they are not repressed. Repression is not our philosophy. Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita? Repression is not worth it. He says that. This is Bhagavad Gita. And what else he says in Bhagavad Gita? Every action in this world, it's covered with some kind of fault. So sometimes we are working, doing something, serving, then we do some mistake. Oh my God, no, you cannot do any mistake. What kind of society, community is this community society? Even against Bhagavad Gita, when you do some mistake and somebody comes with an axe, you says, look, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that every action in this world is covered with a smoke of fault. We are allowed to commit mistake, please. We're allowed to. We learn from mistakes. Srila Prabhupada said, failures are the pillars of success. But we are not allowed to fail. Failing is a big sin, a big problem. You must be perfect. So, because nobody can be perfect, and then they fake, they are perfect. Because they cannot be what they are. They'll be criticized. Nitya Kishore, she speaks like this, speaks like that. Oh, she's so aggressive. Isn't it? Everybody has the way, the unique way to speak, to do things, to say things. Some people like, some people don't. Sometimes they're wrong. And that's life. So here, between this part of the story, is heavy emotions going on for all the sides, isn't it? Maharaj Parikshit, also, he's regrettable now. He's saying, oh my God, I offended a saintly person. Yeah, I deserve to be cursed. That's Maharaj Parikshit feelings. And he is 7 days, can you imagine, 7 days to death. How he's feeling. He's leaving everything. Do you think it's easy? Oh, he's a pure devotee, blah, blah, blah. Arjuna, his grandfather, what's the problem? There is a problem. Never think it's easy for anyone. He is determined. He is firm, and he has faith. But it's heavy. It's difficult. Okay, that's Maharaj Parikshit feelings. And then can you imagine this? The sage is there meditating, then something happened, and then now a big trouble is going on. His son is involved in a big problem, big scandal. It's a scandal, isn't it? My son, he had a son, and he was meditating, and the son did something wrong, and now it's a big mega scandal. It's a scandal. Oh my God, who was this person? Look at that. Listen to that. Who was this person, this boy, which cursed the king? Think about the whole kingdom talking about that. Who is his mother? Who is his father? They didn't give to this kid education. Blah, 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 blah. So much is going on. We think this is just like, how can I say, some lila, blah, blah. No, this is not some lila. This is real life. This is real life. Isn't it? Isn't it? Things happen and people get emotion. People get upset and they regret things and it's out of control. Out of control, not of the control of the Lord. It's under control. Sarva Karana Karanam. Krishna, the cause of all causes. Something's going on. So those who are cultivating spiritual knowledge, they are Jnana Chakshu. They have the eyes to see it. Oh my God. That's providence. Providence is going on. Something bigger than me is going on. Much bigger than all of us. That's Krishna's control. That's karma law. Okay, this what's the name? Purport is very small, so I did my best here to expand. I even don't know what time is now. 9:10. So I think we can start the question and answer. What do you think, Sahadeva?
Hare Krishna, I think that's okay. Yes, we can do Q&A now.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Hare Krishna, thank you for being here as always. Yeah. So dear devotees, Hare Krishna, thank you for being here. If anyone has a question or comment, please you may indicate that by raising your hand and you'll be asked to unmute to speak. See, Mother, you were talking about emotions and you beautifully were explaining how many great devotees used emotion to serve the Lord. We also see how when Krishna was saying that he had a headache, the only thing that could relieve his headache was the dust from the lotus feet of the devotees. And the Brahmins wouldn't do it. But the gopis just did it out of emotion. But in most cases, as practitioners, when we act based on emotions, sometimes our emotions are right. Other times, for the most part, our emotions get us the wrong situation, get us into the wrong situation. So my question is, how best do we channel our emotions in the service of the Lord? We cannot do away with emotions. They are there. We cannot avoid them. But how do we effectively use them in the service of the Lord? That's
nice. Nice question. Nice question. Thank you for the question. In the beginning, you said emotions for Krishna. That's the goal. That's the goal. Because in the beginning, the whole thing is intellectual, isn't it? I understand. I'm not feeling. Our feelings are towards material enjoyment. Let's be honest, isn't it? So when the emotions are towards the Lord, I'm not talking about faking it. No, please. No. Not faking it. I'm talking about real feelings that when things go really wrong inside of your heart, you trust Krishna. Or when you hear Krishna Lila, that Krishna, like Krishna and Yashoda Mai together, and Krishna, and Yashoda having Damodar Lila. And she is very upset, and Krishna is afraid of the mother. She's very upset. She's like this. He always was lying, doing something, and you hear that, and then you're really feeling like Radhanatha Swami. It's so easy to develop emotions for Krishna by hearing Radhanatha Swami's class. I would surely advise everyone here in this class, we talk about emotions, to hear Radhanatha Swami speaking Krishna Lila. I think I told here before about Yashoda that she was crying. She was crying so hard when Krishna disappeared. And she was so desperate. All the neighbors came. And when they saw her, they cry with her because they felt her pain. So he said that's normal, you know, like when somebody you love or your neighbor is suffering, you feel that. So Radhanath Swami is so expert, you know, to bring these feelings to when he speaks Krishna Lila. And actually, when the mind is conquered, that the mind is where the emotions live, in the mind. So when our mind will be conquered by Krishna Lila, Krishna's qualities, also very important, Krishna's qualities. When you hear and read Krishna Lila, you understand how Krishna is interacting to others, how humorous, or, you know, we spoke about Mother Yashoda. Let's talk about Kaliya. Krishna was very upset with Kaliya, very upset, because Kaliya was so arrogant, and he was poisoning the lake for everybody to die. He was really, really like, he was a bad person. And then he told Krishna, Kaliya told Krishna, I'm so sorry, you know, that's my nature. It's so difficult to control somebody's nature. That's what Kaliya said to Krishna. And Krishna, he was just look at him. He didn't say anything. Krishna is always a kshatriya when he comes to this material world. He didn't say words of, oh, it's okay, it's okay. No. Krishna was looking at Kaliya, and Kaliya was apologizing. And then Krishna says, look, get out from here. Forever. Never come back to Vrindavan again. You listen to me? Like that. And then put him out. So like, this is Krishna's behavior. So the goal is to have the mind attracted to that person. Really inside of your heart, these kind of feelings. You know, you're talking how to use emotions in the service of Krishna. Emotion of compassion towards the living entities. They don't have Krishna and they are suffering because of that. Emotions of, and then it starts in your house. If you don't have compassion towards your wife, your husband, or your kids at home, so please don't speak about anybody outside. Charity starts at home. First, you help your family, then others. Not like that. Everything in your house is a mess, and you are showing yourself a very compassionate person, using your time to help others. Meanwhile, your family needs you the most. Don't be a hypocrite. Yes or not? Don't be it. So this kind of, this development of emotions towards Krishna will come to us by hearing about Krishna from the Bhagavatam or from the Bhagavata person, isn't it? About how to use emotions. No, that's not the point. Point is hearing about Krishna and develop the feelings. Feelings are emotions towards Krishna. And Prabhupada said the way, another thing very important about emotions that I want to say, that Bhakti Purushottam Swami Maharaj told me, and I found this instruction, very, very good instruction. He said, look, we'll never be free from anger, from envy, or from bad feelings. But if you don't use it to hurt others, to revenge, so they are under control. And this is a great step. This is very important. Don't try. It doesn't come to zero. This is the reason anger doesn't come to zero. This is the reason Prabhupada said, use your anger to fight the atheists, because the anger will be there. You know what I mean? But he said that if your anger, your lust, and your greed is under control, it's a big step. This is what he said. Don't use. For example, let's suppose that somebody's offends you seriously, like you don't do it, you didn't do it, or and then the person come and accused you, or they misunderstand what happened to you and they accuse you or speak bad about you, and then you try to explain yourself, but it doesn't work because the person is envious, so they don't want to hear, they just want to accuse you and you know, and disturb. They don't want to know the truth. They're just envious. So what you do with that? You don't revenge. No revenge. You use the spiritual knowledge, isn't it? That's saying that karma is there. You have to be patient. All these good qualities you have to cultivate. So if you do that, it means a great step. It means we are advanced. We're advancing. We are being blessed by the holy names. We are being blessed by the spiritual master. We're being blessed by the deities. So this is the reason why we are not revenging anyone, because we are blessed by the best. You know, so small things, day by day stuff that we have to pay attention to it, isn't it?
Well, thank you so much, Mother. If no one has a question, okay, Hari Chakra has a question. I have another question, but I will let Hari Chakra Prabhu go first, and then I'll come again. Hari Chakra Prabhu, please unmute.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for your class. But my question comes from in your lecture. You were mentioning how we shouldn't be caught up in the externals. Like we shouldn't be thinking that just by putting kantimala or putting dhoti or putting all these dressing makes us devotees. It should go beyond that. But in the same vein, you were saying that, so if the externals is not that what is very important, but the internals are what is really important, then you were also saying that we shouldn't be calling Matajis Prabhus. So what doesn't it look like some sort of a contradictory, because if our dressing is not what is really important, then what is that? Why is the name important too? Like, so that's where my question is coming from. That if it's not the way we dress that makes us devotees, will the way we address, like the name we give to people, does it change anything?
Thank you.
Krishna, my question is probably answers this, but you answer the question first, Mother. But NITYA KISHORE, you answer the question, yes.
Okay. Thank you for the question, Hari Chakra. Well, Hari Chakra, when you address others, it's about the other person who is hearing you. And when you dress, it's about you. You know, I'm sorry, but I don't think it has to do one thing with another. Why the dress is not important, what is important. I didn't say that it's important. I was just saying that, please, besides Kantimala and Tilaka, don't use that as just a fantasy. You have to cultivate the spiritual knowledge. Otherwise, there is no way to spiritual advancement. You can do the clothes. How many saris and dhotis that you want to put? If you don't know Bhagavad Gita, and if you don't do pilgrimage, and if you don't really try to understand God, you cannot advance. This is the reason why we see people with Kantibala, Tilaka, and Dhoti, blah, 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 doing so many stupid things. Because it's lacking, it's missing spiritual knowledge. It's missing spiritual understanding. It's just external. Don't be so external, you know, thinking that it's solved. the problem when you just change your dress. No, we have the whole background that come with us from past lives, from the place that we came. I am from Brazil. I brought with me my background. A person is from India. They brought with them their background. From America, they brought with them their background. It doesn't solve with the clothes, although they help cultivate spiritual knowledge. About called Mataji's Prabhus is because in our Shastra is saying the right way to address a woman. Just like that. Is that they are two different things. I hope you can read more.
Okay, Hare Krishna, Mother. Thank you for the answer, Hare Chakravarti. Thank you for the question.
Could I just have a word, please? Hare Krishna.
What is that, please?
It's just that Prabhupada called Mataji's Prabhu as well. Recently found out.
Okay. My experience about that. I read 20 books of Prabhupada's life. What's the Difficulty, Miracle on Second Avenue, TKG's Diary, Chasing Rhinos, Srila Prabhupada Lamrita, My Prabhupada, Jamuna Devi book with 2,000 pages. I'm sorry to say, none of these books mentioned ever that Srila Prabhupada called any Mataji Prabhu. They were calling them by the name. Kaushalya, Jamuna, Vishaka, Malati. What can I say? Who heard that? Where? And why they are not in the biographies? But you know, you don't have to trust me. You can read yourself and you find out. Okay.
Well,
I think the devotee should be informed about that, because this is my knowledge that I am sharing with all of you. I think somebody must say that to people.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Mother Deepa, do you have something else to say before I speak?
No, sorry, carry on.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you for your contribution. Well, I said I had a question, but I would like to say something about Hare Chakra Prabhu's question and the contribution by Mother Deepa. Some time ago, I wasn't all that old in devotional service, but I was talking to one senior devotee, and I was talking to him about my wife. And so I mentioned my wife's name, that Mother Loka. And of course, he knew my wife, but he was dumbfounded. He was looking at me like he was lost, whom I was talking about. So he asked me, who is Mother Loka? I said, my wife. And he said, how can you call your wife mother? You address every woman as mother other than your wife. And there is a reason why that is the case, because names are not just meaningless. Names mean something. And so this same thing you said, I asked one guru on our platform here whether women could be addressed as Prabhus. And he said, yes, but it is not the recommended, because Prabhu means master. So one may address a woman as the woman being his or her master. But the proper way of addressing a woman is mother, so that a civilized person will know that apart from his wife, he is not supposed to engage in sex with anybody else, and only an animal, a very, very low-based animal, will engage in sex with his mother. And so in this sense, when you address all women other than your wife as mother, you're reminding yourself that apart from your wife, you cannot engage in sex with any woman else. And so the ideal way of addressing women is mother, not Prabhus. So that is what I have also come to understand. Now, this is a follow-up to my question. My question is that it's very interesting you said this, because just 2 days ago on this same platform, there was this discussion as to addressing some people as Maharajas. You know, like some Swamis are being addressed as Maharajas. And Maharaj means a great king. They are not kings. So why are they addressed as Maharaj? And my contribution, because I heard this from one Swami and one very learned devotee, Amarendra Prabhu specifically, that we addressed these Swamis as Maharajas because Maharajas, they control and protect the kingdom and the citizens. But these Swamis, they protect their inner senses, their mind, all their senses, they're able to control. And so they are called Maharajas. Now that Maharaj in ISKCON is reserved for sannyasis, those who are celibates. It is not used for even those who are initiating gurus, but are grihastas. And so this also became a debate. And some devotees were saying that one can address anyone whichever way they choose to. And some of us were saying that is wrong because we are in an institution, it's an organization. Organization means that everything is done in an organized form. So my question to you is that, what do you know from our scriptures that a guru who is a grihasta, should he be addressed as Maharaj or should not be addressed as Maharaj? And a point in to be referenced to, I just went online and I checked all the list of names of initiating gurus we have in ISKCON. And all those with the title Swami are all sannyasis. There are many initiating gurus, but none of them have the title Swami. So I would like to hear your understanding from the scriptures, whether anybody can be referred to as a Swami, can be addressed to as Maharaj, regardless of their external status, whether they are sannyasis or whether they are grihastas, they are vanaprasthas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The languages, usually they are dynamics. They are dynamic. They are not stagnant. The language, they don't stuck. People change the way they speak for many reasons. So I believe the Hare Krishna movement created their only way to do things and address others based not only about what Prabhupada taught us, but also for some misunderstanding. And when devotees started to come to India, things changed. They really, like, you know, in Jamuna's books, Jamuna Life, yeah, she's telling that when the devotees came to India, before they come, the role of a woman was just like everybody else, just respected like anybody else. When they came to India, when they observed the Prabhus in our movement that time, they observed that the woman was not treated with respect. So they thought this is the right way to treat women, because this is India. and India should be the ideal, yes or not? So then a misunderstanding came that a woman should be behind, women should be repressed, women should be not given, how can I say, not given chance to be in front or lead anything. That Prabhupada was not doing. Because even in India, in so many places, women are allowed to be politicians and leaders. You know, some women are leaders according to their nature. But for another side, there's some people, they're much conservative and they're influenced by Islam rules. So confusion was installed about women's roles and position in this time in ISKCON. So Jamuna Deva herself, although very qualified, could contribute a lot. She's very intelligent, very capable, very skilled. Jamuna was singing, playing instruments, cooking, arts. Listen to that. And Srila Prabhupada was always putting Jamuna to do many things because she was very skilled and capable. And Prabhupada Prabhupada, regardless, this is the word, of genre, he was trying to expand an organization, and Jamuna was very qualified for doing that. So what happened? This Maharaj or Prabhu, I tell you, Prabhu in India nowadays means Krishna. You know, when in the West we call the Lord, the Christians, they say the Lord. In India, Prabhu means the Lord. Oh, Prabhu. You know, in India nowadays, that's the language. But in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, it says Pahu was also the devotees were addressing each other as Prabhus, and then changed. Now they're not addressing each other as Prabhus. Mataji in India means Durga Devi. She is the Mataji. Mataji is a very high title. I don't like to be called Mataji. I like to be called Nitya. That's my name. My friends, they call me, you can call me Bataji, I don't mind. But after some time, I tell you, please call me by the name. My name is Nitya. You can call me Nitya. But Mataji is a very big, high title. Nobody's called Mataji. It's very rare. Only Durga. That's Mataji. So in ISKCON, Prabhupada established Prabhu and Mataji title. But it seems that it's changing. And then you talk about Maharaj. You know, if you watch Indian movies, you can see that the kings were called Maharaj, or those who have higher position. It doesn't mean they are swamis. No. They even, you know, Kalki, what's that? Kali, he's also called Maharaj. The personality of Kali, the age of Kali, it's called Kali Maharaj. Because Maharaj is any boss, is Maharaj. Maharaj doesn't mean anything spiritual, means boss. In India means that. But Swami or Swamiji means those who are engaged in spiritual activities, and they are controlling these senses. Swami, Goswami, Goswamini, these are the correct titles. But the confusion the Western devotees made with the meaning of the words in Sanskrit and treatment and roles That's something else. I don't know how I can change that, you know? Like you said about mother. Dayananda Maharaj said that he researched so many books. And then he said, there is no place in Bhagavatam when a woman is called mother in Sanskrit. And then we asked him, so how can you call the woman? And then he said, by their names. Everybody has names. This is what he said. Let me talk a little bit about mother, because I was thinking about that some time ago. Where is it coming from? And I remember that Prabhupada was giving an example. Prabhupada was saying, when the brahmachari is going house to beg, he called the woman there mother. It doesn't mean that each man in the society, all the men, should call all the women they see as a mother. He has his own mother. But the brahmachari in the ashrama, he was going to beg house to house. And in the house, the man was not there. He was working. The woman was alone at home. And they would come and say, mother, with so much respect. And although he's doing celibacy, and then he meets a woman, and then he's going to beg, and then he's just mother, like, I am your son, I am in need of help. Can you please give some alms? Dear mother. We have to understand the culture and research to understand what's really going on. So in these 13 years, I am in Mayapur, living for 13 years. In the beginning, it was very foggy, very difficult to understand. India is very complex. Wow, gosh. So 13 years, I had been studying even Indian law to try to understand what's really going on. And I'm telling you, 755 years of colonization from the Islam side, and then almost 200 years of British colonization made a lot of change in so many things. If you really want to understand how to address or what is happening, you have to read a lot and research a lot for real understanding why it happens. You know, also, I was surprised. Nobody's called nobody Mataji here. Only in ISKCON they called Mataji in Prabhu, not outside. Actually, I heard also, you know where? In Puri. Inside of Jagannath Temple, I heard, the only place I heard in India, between them, they called themselves Prabhu. The only place in ISKCON, nowhere else. They changed. And Maharaj, you watch Indian movies, you can understand. It's everyone and everyone. And Maharaj just means king of anything, big position. Swami means spiritual position. And Goswamini for women too. That's what I researched. Is that clear?
Yes, it is. But talking about the Vedic, I have said this before, maybe a couple of times, and I still hold on to what I said, that in ISKCON, we follow the Vedic teachings, but at the same time, we follow only selected aspect of the Vedic teachings.
Vedic, okay.
Yeah, we follow what Srila Rupa Goswami, the six Goswamis, established for us.
Yes.
And so what Srila Prabhupada gave us is what we try to follow.
Yes.
It does not mean that what others are saying or doing are not right in the eyes of the Vedic teachers. But we cannot follow everything that is found in the Vedic teachings. because the Vedic teachings is so broad, it makes room for those in the mode of ignorance, those in the mode of passion, those in the mode of goodness, those in the mode of transcendence.
Passion.
So
yeah.
I always have this view that there is a reason why we are called the Rupa Nugas, that we follow what Sri Rupa Goswami has given us. And so, like you were saying, Prabhu is oftentimes referred to Shri Krishna. Now, if you watch lots of the movies, they are addressing Krishna as Prabhuji, Prabhuji, Prabhu, Prabhu, my Lord, my Lord, my Lord. But we know in ISKCON that when I am addressing another male devotee, I address him as Prabhu Harichakra. When I am addressing myself to Harichakra Prabhu, I address myself as Sahadev Das. I do not say Sahadev Prabhu.
Of course.
Because I am reminding myself that I'm a servant to him. So even though, like you're saying, that is the case, but don't you think that we should just try to follow what Srila Prabhupada established for us?
Yes.
Because if we want to go into so many other things, then it will become, I don't know, it become like a sandwich. So many things will come together which may not be appropriate for us.
Useful. It's not so important. But if somebody asks, then you know, but we call Prabhu because Prabhupada said you call Prabhu.
Yeah.
You know, and Prabhupada said you call woman mother. He said that too, you know. So yeah, I don't think this is like the most important thing that we should be doing,
No.
you know, this discussion forever. It's just like, oh, okay, oh, this is this. Yeah. So not most important thing. I think, you know, when you like, there are books of Jiva Goswami, the Sandarbhas, the very important books that everybody should read these books. You know, I think we should, my suggestion is that everybody should try their best to deepen their spiritual knowledge. And then these things will all disappear, this confusion.
Yeah.
You know, like the sages, they are very liberal.
Yeah.
There is a book called Lago Bhagavatamrita, where Rupa Goswami puts all the apparent contradictions in Vaishnava philosophy and discuss them. And then he said, you know what? Opposite things. He would say, this is true and it's also true. Both are true together. Yes. You called Lord Prabhu and also called devotees in ISKCON Prabhu because Prabhupada established that. So what's the problem? One thing doesn't contradict another.
No.
They coexist. They coexist.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to say in regard to Harichakra Prabhu's question to what you were saying about not merely wearing kantimala, tilak, dhoti, sari, you should think that you are a devotee. So in the Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers by Brahmatirtha Prabhu and Srila Prabhupada, it's very beautiful. Brahmatirtha Prabhu asked this question to Srila Prabhupada. If you're saying that Hare Krishna is just like everybody worshiping God, why do you have this peculiar dressing? You put on mark on your forehead, you put this bead, you wear different clothing. And Srila Prabhupada's answer was that those things are not important. It says dhotis, kantimala, they are not important, but he said they are helpful, which is very, very important for us to know. Important things and helpful things. We cannot do without important things. We cannot do without air. But there are certain things that are helpful. For example, if we're traveling from one place to another and we're driving in a car, it helps us get there shorter time. And more convenient. But it does not mean that without a car, we cannot travel. And so without Dhoti, without Tilak, without Kantimala, even without the Japa bead, whatever, we still can be devotees. But if we haven't developed the inner aspect of which is the most important thing, then
Yes.
it becomes very difficult. That's what you were saying.
What you're saying is 100% correct. It's correct. I called attention because many times I see it that we are neglecting the real thing just to show, because around us there is public. How can I say no? Audience. That's the correct word. So, like, I'm calling attention, please be more mindful about what we are really doing here. Don't stop there in the big skirts or nice saris and perfect tilaka and the what kind of dhoti, how you put the dhoti. Or don't stop there in the externals. But as you said, as I said, these glasses help me to see better. You know, they don't replace the eyes. So yeah, it helps, but you shouldn't stop there, thinking that your life changing just because you change your clothes. I know this sounds very mediocre or unnecessarily, but actually many times we are so concerned about that and we forget about what's really important. Am I learning? Am I advancing? Am I progressing? You know, what I have done. In another verse I was reading there before the class is telling that when a guest come to our house, how should we treat a guest? You know, sometimes we go to devotee's house and they don't invite you to come in and sit down and offer a glass of water or some prasada. You know what I mean? So this is so basic. Are we doing that? Are you being kind with a neighbor? Are we be kind with those who are come to my house? Offer a glass of water, a juice, a prasada. Am I inviting people to just to feed them? You know, the Indians, they have this a lot. They love to feed people. We Westerners, that we don't come from such background, are we changing it for real? Cooking for somebody, offering, please come have some breakfast, just to make them happy. This is our culture. Are we doing that? That's my point. Or are we just put the best till it can look nice?
Okay, it seems Harichakra Prabhu has something to say. Harichakra Prabhu, please, you may unmute.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you very much for the dialogue that is going on, the questions and answers that is going on. But there is one.
It seems you have two devices open on. If you can turn the one off or down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's one thing that I want to ask or put across, that basically speaking, I know that especially in ISKCON, we attend classes to listen, because we know one person doesn't have all the knowledge, and there isn't one person who can read all the scriptures to maybe understand everything. So somebody might have read something somewhere, we both might even have read the same thing, but our understanding of it might be different. So we come to class and we ask questions just to broaden our perception about certain things. Yeah, so like sometimes some devotees, are very knowledgeable, but they still ask questions. And the questions they ask might be very basic. And one may think that, why is he even asking this question? But it's important because first, this thing we are doing is on YouTube. Someone, some years to come, will go and listen to that lecture, and that person might be in the basic level where that question will be very important to the person. Yeah, so like if I come to class and I ask a question and I want an answer, if I ask a question, I sincerely want an answer because I assume that the person who is giving class has read somewhere or has gotten a realization that he can share with me so that I can use it to enhance my devotion, right? So if I ask a question and the person who is giving the class asks me to go and read without giving me specifically, maybe if the person is very specific, oh, this, go and read Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila chapter so and so, and this, and the question you are asking is broadly explained there, that is helpful to me. But if you just tell me to go and read, where should I go and read? Because I cannot just go and compile the books and be reading everything like that. So that is, I feel that is the reason why I come to classes, because I come to classes to ask questions. Sometimes that I'm doubtful of, and I expect the preacher, if the preacher is capable, should give me the right answer that can help me. If not, the preacher also throws it to the public, to their general devotees, whoever can contribute. And that's why anytime we give class, we say any questions or contributions, so that if the preacher doesn't have the answer and he throws it out to the general public, someone somewhere might have an answer to that question. So please, that is the little opinion that I'm trying to express, that if I ask a question and you give me an answer, if you want to make a reference to me, just give me a direct reference to a particular book where I should go and read. But if you say I should read, that one, it doesn't mean much to me.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you, Hari Chakra Prabhu, and thank you, Madam Nitya Kishore. Sorry, I'm used to addressing women as mother. Forgive
This
me.
is very sweet. Don't worry.
But I have also been saying this a few times, that, you know, it is said that you cannot judge a book just by the cover, you know, and it's also said in the scriptures, hate sin, do not hate the sinner. So oftentimes when there is a class going on and there are questions, it does not necessarily mean that the person asking the question does not have an answer to that question. Maybe he's asking to help the general audience, or maybe he knows, but he wants to be very sure that what he knows is actually the truth. So there are many reasons why people ask questions. So it's unfortunate that oftentimes people do not ask questions, but also we're not forcing everybody to ask questions because we are all different. But we want to remind people that that is our system. Our system is that of questions and answers. We're talking about Maharaj Parikshit. He was asking all sorts of questions. If he did not ask those questions, we will not be here today discussing. If Arjuna did not ask Krishna questions, we will not be
the questions of the sages.
The questions of the sages, yeah.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
The questions of the sages, they want to know.
Yeah.
I think everything, you know, I started to take everything like them as persons. Not like, not, you know, like not put like these people as gods like that, but normal people wanting to know things and concern.
Yeah.
you know, like frankly speaking, openly speaking to each other, normally speaking, you know, this natural thing, I think it's missing, you know. So relax, man.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Relax.
So, anyone with a question? We do not want to get anybody like calling out names, but if you have a question, you have something to share, please do that.
Yeah, but you know, it's 1 hour 32 minutes. I'd like to
okay, yeah, it's
yeah,
late
like,
your time, right?
yeah.
Your time is late.
It's you know,
But-
it's not so easy. It's like the memory is like a computer. You know, when you use a computer and you are using the memory of the computer, it gets hit. It gets heated. So when somebody is giving class, they have to use the memory of the brain to make connection, to understand. Like, I'm sitting down here and I have to hear you guys, whatever you're saying. I have to hear 100% attention. Maybe it was 99, but I heard everything what Harichakra says, what you said, and then it gives the memory. It's so much memory working, you know. And then when I give you 1 hour 30 minutes, I'm really tired.
you are.
I'm really tired
But,
because the memory is just like somebody asks something very specific. Of course, it can be answered in so many ways, but we want to give the best accurate answer.
Yes.
And this comes from Shastra, from Prabhupada, from the Goswamis. So you have to remember, so it doesn't go in contradiction. How he says, people will hear this in the future. So if you say something that's nonsense or just from your mind, it is not proper, you know.
It doesn't help. No.
I have to really remember the Shastras. What the Shastras, what Prabhupada said about that, what the Acharyas says, what their opinions are about certain matters or different people. You have to put everything together, you know. I like this is also this is an exercise of the intellect, what you are doing here. So sharing results of researches made by ISKCON devotees, like Ridananda Maharaj did about mother, you know, and put this on the table. Prabhupada was not like completely like that, you know. He wasn't. He was open to talk. He was open to hear research. If he was here right now and maybe Ridananda Maharaj could come and say, look, Prabhupada, I researched this and this and this. What do you think about that? He may agree.
Yeah.
You know, he himself was not calling anybody mother. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. That's the point. We're not here to condemn or to say this is right or wrong. Oh yeah, I said that called Mataji Prabhu is quite strange. Even is a called lady, a gentleman. It's like even let's suppose in the West, you go to university, and then you have a very important professor, you know, and in Latin language, feminine and masculine, they're different. And it's a lady or it's a gentleman, you know. So, you know, like the gender thing is there. They are different. Yeah, today I gave class talking about like we are in World Cup right now, huh? We are in World Cup. So World Cup is a mainly activity when man is the center, you know, with their Shakti, men's Shakti, power, you know, speed, you know, like it's men's emotions and men thing. And then American women were complaining that, oh, our cup is not so important as men's cup, and this is World Cup, so this is not right. And look, we have a Miss Universe, you know, contest. This is women's time, yes or not? Women's time to shine. It's shiny. Woman time. They're there, about beauty, about, kindness, about everything related to women. And then it's related to men. So why not? People don't have rights to have their own time. Why not? Men needs women energy. Women needs men energy the way they are. They shouldn't be, men should be like women. Women should be like men. Why? Why? We are sitting in our own power. Everybody has gift, power. We should not be envious or concerned why they should be the center. Let them be. Let them be. It's not only we speak like that myself. So many professors and leaders and, speakers and researchers, they are speaking the same way. They're not from ISKCON. They're not from Vedic culture, but they are speaking because this is just reasonable. This is just common sense. Now everything should be feminine. Why? The masculine should be repressed. Men should not be men. He should feel like a woman, behave like a woman, speak like a woman. What? Why? Can you imagine? I am the mother and I have 3 kids, three girls. And the father, he should speak like a father. And he should speak like me and be like me and behave like me, very emotional, very this, very that. Man is man. They cannot be men. So nowadays, if Prabhupada was here, he would accept and talk about it. It doesn't mean right or wrong, or sometimes it's information, like I'm saying about how to address women. Thakurani. You think somebody is very advanced? You call Thakurani, Janava Thakurani, Sita Thakurani, the wife of Advaita Acharya, Sita Thakurani. Isn't it? Sri Janava, Ganga Mata Goswamini. This is the way to address somebody's advanced. Prabhu Nitya Kishore. Sorry. Then come out a lady. Prabhu Nitya Kishore. I feel bad. I feel bad.
That's a Nitya Kishore Prabhu.
Yeah. I even don't know what is that. Nitya Kishore Prabhu. Nitya Kishore Prabhu.
Well, thank you so much, Nitya Kishore Devi.
Glory to Srila Prabhupada. It was a pleasure to be here again and again and again. Haribo, Goranga, Goranga.
We're going to kindly, Salika, do you have something to say before we close?
No.
No?
Hare Krishna.
They're shocked
Really,
and they are thinking.
Okay, I'm saying
They are shocked. She's crazy.
No, you're not crazy.
Hare Krishna. I'd just like to say,
it will be a very difficult one to stop using the address mother because like Sadhu said earlier.
Yeah.
Mother is very sweet. Mother is very sweet.
It's good to call.
It's good.
Every mother. So
yeah, it's good. It's good.
In any case, thank you.
It's good.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to humbly.
Every other time you speak, you touch controversial topics, which brings out so many questions. And it's good. It gives us opportunity to reflect.
Yes.
Reflect.
It gives us an opportunity to reflect on so many things. So thank you very much for the class.
Prabhupada loved that. Prabhupada loved that. Independently thoughtful. And it makes you powerful and makes you a preacher. And this is important. Your faith increases. You be yourself as a devotee. You're powerful. When I did my thesis in the MBA, I offered my thesis to Krishna. And I said, if they don't like, I don't care. I offer this work to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Oh, I don't like it. I am Jesus. So what? I don't care. I don't care. I offer to Krishna. This is my rights to offer to whom I want. So I offer to Krishna. I don't believe in Krishna. Your problem. Sorry.
It's certainly it's certainly been a food for thought. Quite an unusual class. So a lot to think about and
A lot to think about.
and, yeah.
Deeper. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the Deepa. But Deepa, we would love to have you more and more. Okay, please join us more and more.
Sahadeva, he wants me to stay here 3 hours. I'm not staying. I'm not.
Dear devotees, we humbly requested each and everyone to kindly unmute and we chant the Lord Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Vanta kalpataruvya kripa sindhu namo
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Maharaj Parikshit ki jai. The big doctor. Our hero. He is the hero of Srimad Bhagavatam.